Hello, my name is Dr. Dean Nelson. I imagine while you're watching this video is you're coming to one of my retreats either here in Hawaii or on the mainland in the States. And I imagine you're hoping watching this ukulele that your hope this is when it turns into a little more fun or entertaining. Actually, that's somewhat true. It does turn into a little bit more entertaining, but it's only because you've already done the hard work of calm abiding. I wish I could frame the necessity of learning how to be mindful or being in the body in some sort of fun and light way. But the truth is there's a manual labor quality of it. You just simply have to retrain yourself to be present. You simply have to train yourself to learn how to not always go into the habit of anxiety and worry and regurgitation. So that being said, I'd like to now move into the network bodywork part of the retreat. Network bodywork is a little bit like a cheat, I call it, where somebody takes you up to the top of the mountain and all of a sudden you can see the landscape laid out before you a little more clearly, a little bit more delineated, and with a little bit bigger view. Before you're kind of immersed in actually getting through the traffic, that all of a sudden networks like all of a sudden expanding that view, and there's a lightness and a larger meta view, you could say. So in some ways I call it a cheat. By calm abiding, you've started by being a king or a queen with the spine very erect and powerful. This alone sets up a certain kind of energy that goes through the body, a wind you could call it. It has to do with the breath and something slightly more subtle than the breath called your life force, your actual way that you stay alive. But I want to go into the physiology, you could say the Western science point of view on this. So you're erect. Sometimes we're vertical human beings. We don't even think of that. But that's because we decided to stand up and because our backbone supports us. Our spine is what keeps us erect, engaged in the world in a certain way. Now, the brain and the brain cord, and that's what we're working with in Network. The brain and the brain cord are encapsulated in the brain, your skull and your spine, and then it's wrapped in this very tough matter. It's actually called duramatter. It's meninges. The brain is wrapped in that, and inside that matter that it's wrapped in, there's a hydraulic fluid, largely sugar-based, called cerebrospinal fluid. So in some ways, your brain and your brain cord is like a skinny balloon going up your spine and with a bulge on the end called your brain. And the information goes up and down that conduit. In psychoneuroimmunology, now we're moving into a kind of fun and wild specialty in Western medicine, it's thought that you don't have one brain at all, but that you have 5 different brains, or 6 different brains, as you would. You have the brain that you think does all your thinking, but you also have a brain that thinks from your eyes point of view, called your pineal gland, from your throat point of view, thyroid and thymus, from your heart point of view, from your stomach point of view, and finally from your sexual organs and your lower chakra, you could say, your lower part of your body's point of view. And each one of these has information in it. Each one of these sees and takes in the world in a certain way. Each one interacts and gives out information in a certain way. This is a leap in some sense. It's not a leap totally in Western medicine because of this new field. You store information not only in your brain, but also in these different brains in your body, particularly emotional, traumatic, and early memories are stored not just in the cerebellum, but in these different, cerebrum, but in different parts of your body. Now, that hydraulic balloon that I talked about before is connected, as I said, in the skull, but here's the real key. It's connected to your neck, your upper neck, and your lower back. So you can affect the tension of the brain cord or this balloon altogether. It's very much, here's the ukulele, it's very much like tuning an ukulele to play to be more in tune. But what happens is that with these light touches that I'll administer along the spine, the breath will change. When the breath changes, the chemistry changes. When the chemistry changes, you're allowed to release some of your stories, some of your habitual patterns, some of your thought patterns, some of your hurts, some of your traumas. Now this can be packaged in a very kind of nebulous way, or it can be packaged by a literal reliving of the incident itself. So network can get a little wild within the space, or it can be quite subtle, and you might even go, "What is he doing?" And then later that night you either burst out laughing or have a dream of such vividness it's incredible, or you can start crying. Or as you see, the people who are used to the language of network, they're going to be used to going along um, with the language, with the invitation to go to the mountaintop. So I'll be touching you very lightly on your sacrum and your coccyx and up in your upper cervical area. Now, there's three things that you have to allow. You have to allow to actually get network. The first is you have to be willing to feel your body, and part of that has been the work of the calm abiding, is to literally take you into your body, allow you to start focusing on the breath and just experience the joy of life force, of having this thing, this amazingly beautiful thing called a body. So that's called feel your body, and I was saying this mantra over and over again. Feel your body, just feel it, just, we're so feeling challenged in this culture. We're so in our heads that this sounds simple. These all sound simple, but they're quite hard. Feel your body. Next, listen to your breath means the breath will shift. Listen is like listening to music and actually allowing yourself to go into it. So often, whether it's the sound of a bird or beautifully played music, we see it as background noise. But in this case, I really want you listening to the breath, like it's, I'm sorry, almost like it's a lover, almost like it's the only voice that's worth listening to at that time is the breath. The second part, or the third part, I'm sorry, feel your body, listen to your breath. And the last one is let go. Let go is one of those words that comes off, or one of those phrases that comes off the tongue very easily, like, oh, just let go. Letting go is actually a very profound training of how to be present and how to allow yourself to go with what's being said, what's being invited. It's like accepting an invitation. That's all. Don't accept or watch somebody else's invitation. Listen to your own invitation. You're starting to touch into the wisdom of the body and its desire again to not only calmly abide, but declare total celebration, to be free of stories and thoughts and ideas and traumas and hurts. The body actually has no investment in those things. It wants, in some sense, to be harmonized. You could even say, if you allow this, your body is designed to talk to the divine. It's a piece of sacredness. So this works because that yearning to join sacredness is in the body. So feel your body, listen to your breath, and let go. Don't expect anything. Please, just be honest and inside yourself. This is innately part of you. Again, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy.